Hey there, viewers and listeners. You are live. This is Seven City Shop Talk Sports. This is Big Law on the line here with you live and from the JPJ. And I can tell you about this game here. UVA wins against Stanford 70 to 55. Of course, UVA has been beating teams pretty regularly and beating them pretty well, beating them down really. Beating teams by between 15 to 20 plus points. Um, Remember, Stanford was a tough out for Duke last week or early in the week, and actually had Duke on the ropes at one time during the game. And UVA pretty much, this was a game, in my opinion, that I felt UVA had a lot of calls go against them. And even though they had a lot of calls go against them, they still, and I mean still, won by 15 points. And not only that, they only had a 3 bench rotation when they're used to a 5 bench rotation. So you could actually see some of the guys actually sucking wind a little bit. The guys were playing, they were tired. But that's something that sometimes when you have when you have injuries on the roster, some of the other guys are gonna have to pick up the slack, and they did. And Testa Ritter, the 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 consistent presence inside, physical presence inside for the team, always does what he does, what he do or what he does, and played inside, made a couple outside shots, made a 3, but also Chance Mallory coming out and playing his style of basketball, which is very, very physical, very, very on point, and also he plays a great deal of he's puts a lot of pressure on the opposing point guards and ball handlers, and that's what this squad needs. I will tell you this: Malik Thomas also had a good game and played really well. Off the ball as well, and they didn't make as many shots. They shot 6 of 22 from 3. From a team that usually shoots the 3, pretty decently. One of the top shooting three-point percentage teams in the ACC. They didn't shoot the ball all that great, but it didn't matter. They really played a game where, they can score inside. It's not do or die. It's not feast or famine when it comes to shooting a 3-point ball. You miss, you shoot 27% from 3. A lot of times when you're a 3-point shooting team, that equals a loss. For this team, they shot 27% from 3 and 43% from the field. They still won by 15 points. That's scary business right there. That's when you're talking about teams that do not have their fastball on that night, but they still come out and win the game. I'm really impressed. I really am. I'm impressed by what I'm seeing from this team moving forward. I will say this, shout out to the 1995 UVA basketball team that was in the building. I saw Curtis Staples sat down here in front of me. It was really cool. Shook his hand, and a few other of the Wahoos are in the building from the 1995 team. But this team here for 2005, 2006, 2025, 2026 is a team that looks like, I feel like they can do some special things. As long as the injury bug doesn't continue, looks like we're trying Jakari White may get a chance to come back next week. Also, we're looking for, Devin Tillis played a little bit today, and remember he was one of the banged knees twice, and wound up coming out last game, but then played a little bit for this game here. But this team, as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking if they can stay out of foul trouble, continue to shoot the ball, play their style of offense and defense. I can tell you one thing, speaking of defense, they had 6, I think it was 6 shot clock violations. I can't recall seeing 6 shot clock violations anytime, and I'm not knocking Tony during the Tony Bennett's era when you had 6 in one game. I got to give a shout out to the defense, the defensive effort the team had today, and holding Stanford to 55 points, a team that is 13, that was 13-3 before this game, and played the tails off against Duke, and came in here an upset in mind. Virginia didn't have their fastball, didn't play their best game, still beat them by 15 points, and still had to fight the Zebras as well. I don't think the Zebras played it, they didn't, for me, I don't think that they played it down the middle as much as I feel like they should. But University of Virginia wins again, 70-55. And I can tell you, with more and more, the next home game is against UNC, and that's in 2 weeks. And that'll be here, and I'll be here. That'll be a 2:00 tip against the Tar Heels. Of course, oldest rivalry in the South. It's going to be fun to see what happens with that game. But we got 2 weeks of games to play. Let's see where the team is. Let's see where the records are, and we'll live happily ever after. But I gotta say again, thank you again for tuning in. 7 City Shop Talk Sports. UVA wins 70-55, and this is Big Law. Lawrence Johnson signing out. Make sure you tune in on Tuesday at 8:30 for my regular show with my co-host Chad Wood, AB, Ethan Sowers, Amy Hitt, and Ed Thompson. We will be there to follow up on what comes with the University of Virginia sports programs. But thank you. Have a great evening. Wahoo, and I will see you Tuesday. Thank you. Bye-bye.